So now with my news and Brandon, that's another story. But I make like a Boy Scout. But at least she has them. And you can use only one. This way she has options. All right, so seated, standing, on your knees, however you want to sit. We're just going to start with a few breaths. Bring ourselves to a more calm place before we start, especially depending on our day or our Monday or however much coffee we had this morning or whatever. Some centered breathing, feeling our chest rise as we inhale, feeling our belly rise, and feeling our deep core muscles contract, our diaphragm go up to push that air out as we exhale. And as you breathe in, maybe even give yourself a little challenge. Can you feel that expansion in your rib cage and all the sides, in your back? Can you feel that air just filling up your lungs in all the directions? Did you even know that you could fill up your lungs from the sides to the back to the front? All right, let's get started. Let's start with our roller today. I just got the little shorty roller. You might have a really long roller. It doesn't really matter. You can kind of pick and choose. We're just going to start slow. So we're going to start with our lower, kind of our back of our heel area, our Achilles area, just going back and forth gently. If you find a spot that you need to spend a little extra time on, please feel free, spend a little extra time on that spot. Do a hold there. Should just be comfortably leaning back, nothing too crazy. And then we're going to move up to our calf muscles. Maybe you do one at a time, or you do both of them at the same time. Just kind of find what really works for you. You know, I can dig in a little harder if I do one calf muscle at a time. So kind of pick your poison there. If you want to dig in harder, that's your choice. Then rotate back and forth, kind of going to the inside and then to the outside. Make sure you do both legs, inside and outside. Again, if you find any little spots that you need to give a little attention to, go ahead. We're going to work our way up to our hamstrings. If you have a bigger, wider roller, you can do both hamstrings at the same time. I got the little shorty roller, so I'm just going to do one at a time. If you want to do just one at a time, that's totally fine too with the bigger roller. Maybe you find some spots in your hamstrings that need a little attention, and then same thing, kind of going from side to side, getting the outside muscles of the hamstrings, and then rotating that toe over, getting the inside. Kind of play with it a little bit. Lisa's like, this isn't playing by the look on her face. Oh, I've got lots of tight spots on that leg. Again, just kind of doing what you need to do. We're spending a little extra time here on the hamstrings because we sit so much. They get a little bit shortened from sitting in our chair. We want to just bring a little mobility in there. And last but not least, for the lower body, we have to do the glutes. So you can go ahead, you can have a seat right on your roller. Be careful if you have a little shorter roller. And then you're going to kind of go from side to side, getting the sides of the glute, the center, the other side, kind of just like work your way across. See if you find any spots that need a little attention. Try not to roll any like bones. They don't really appreciate being rolled. They'll let you know. So we're just bringing some awareness to those muscles. And as much as we'd like to, we're not going to do our low back because the roller is not really very good for rolling your low back. It does not really get what you want it to get, and it's not going to do you much good. So just FYI, what we're going to do is we're going to bring it up by our shoulder blades. You're just going to gently roll back and forth. I'm not going any lower than your shoulder blades. Just go back and forth. Kind of play with your elbows, opening up some space, closing some space in between those shoulder blades. Use your hands to hold your neck up so that your neck isn't doing a workout right now. Adjust if you need to. I just rolled right off of my roller. And give any spots that need a little attention, just a little attention. Maybe you need to shift from side to side a little. Very nice. All right. Go ahead, set your roller to the side. What we're going to do is we're just going to move right into some gentle core activation. So roll yourself down. We're going to bring our legs up to tabletop. We're going to start with our legs in this upward position, pin your lower back down to the ground, alternating from side to side, dropping a foot down to the ground. If you need a little extra challenge here, you can bring your hands behind your head and try to lift up your shoulder blades off the ground as well. You'll be activating a whole lot of core muscles. Don't feel like you have to. You can also just leave your head down on the ground and really focus on activating the transverse abdominals. So you kind of pick which one is going to work for you, which one you can do properly today. Doesn't really matter which one it is. Both are great core activators. And then if you would like to add a little bit of challenge from there as well, you could do both feet. So as long as you can keep the core engaged, your belly button in and down towards that spine, you can also do both feet down to the ground. And then with both feet, you could also add that trying to get your shoulder blades off the ground a little bit. So there's lots of variations here that you can do to activate your core. And I'm just going to let us hang out here for another minute. So you feel free to alternate between any of those options right here. Go both feet, go single feet, go back and forth as you want to challenge yourself. Kind of pick and choose here a little bit. Remember to breathe. Nice and controlled. If you need to reset, just go ahead, set those feet down, reset, tuck that tailbone under, and then just start right back up again. Nice. Go ahead. Take a nice full body stretch, reaching out from those fingers to those toes. Taking a nice deep breath, feeling that back kind of arch off the floor as you reach. All right, bring yourself back up. We're going to transition into a really slow and controlled bicycle crunch. So, keeping that low back against the ground. The higher, you can bring those legs up a little bit higher if you cannot control the motion. If you have really good control, go ahead, start lowering those legs a little bit closer to the ground, or alternate, go higher, and then go lower. Kind of play with it, go in between the two. We're going to stay here for 1 minute. So play with it a little bit, find your control, adjust as needed, reset as needed. Lots of core going on right here. Woo, we got about 30 more seconds, so pace yourself. Maybe those legs need to go a little bit higher in the last 30 seconds. That's okay. The core is still working. About 10 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very nice. Rest. Grab your band. Hopefully it's nearby. All right. You're going to put both feet in the band up above here. You're going to hold it up here. Kind of get a good grip with your arms. Make sure you have it nice and stable on the bottom of your shoes. You don't want it to come back and hit you in the face. If you don't have shoes on, you might even get a better grip. We're going to just start pressing those feet to the outside. I'm starting with my legs just vertical right now, and my head is relaxed down on the ground, even though sometimes I pick it up to talk. Your head is relaxed down on the ground, and you are waking up those muscles on the sides of your hips right now. You might not get a big pulse here, and that's okay. When you're ready, at your pace, I want you to add on controlled, lowering those legs while you're pulsing down towards the ground. So keep that low back to the ground. Lower as far as you can go. It might not be very far. That's okay. Let's go nice and controlled. Keep pulsing. You're going to feel it in your abs. You're feeling this in the sides of your glutes. You're feeling it all over the place. We're going to go for 15 more seconds. If it's too much, you're just keeping those legs straight at the top, and that's totally fine. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead. Let one foot come out of the band. Just lay it down on the ground. And then we're just going to pull this foot that's up in the air gently, giving a nice little stretch all through the back side of our leg. You don't have to pull super hard, or unless you're like super flexible and you bring your leg really far down, but be gentle. Then you're going to let that leg fall across your body, keeping your shoulders pinned to the ground. Use the band to hold your foot. If it starts to get too heavy and you're like falling out of alignment, use the band to hold it up there. You should feel a nice stretch all across the side of your leg, into your glute on the side there. And then you're going to let your leg fall open, feeling a nice stretch all through your inner thigh. Again, keeping your shoulders down on the ground, really keeping your hips down on the ground, just to stretch the leg there. Use the band to hold it up if you need to a little bit. And we're going to bring it back up to the top. Carefully switch sides. Gently pulling that leg down towards yourself, getting a nice stretch. Press the back side of your leg on the other side. Maybe take note, is this side tighter? Is this side looser? Do you need to give this side a little bit more attention later today? Ooh, that's painful. Go ahead, let that leg fall across your body. Using that band to stay in control. Take note, you should be feeling a nice stretch down the side of your leg, right into that glute. And we're gonna let that leg fall open, feeling a nice stretch to the inside of our leg. Oh, very nice. Go ahead. You may get rid of the band. Well, set it to the side. Maybe don't get rid of it. You know, the spirit may move me again to grab the band. You never know. We're going to bring both of our legs as straight as we can up towards the ceiling. What we're going to do is we're going to try to reach towards our toes like we're climbing a rope. So this is all in our core. Our hips are staying nice and stable. They're not shifting from side to side. The twist is coming from our center. So don't twist to make it meet. Everything's staying nice and stable right here in your lower portion. If holding your legs straight is too much of a challenge, add a soft bend to your knee. If you need more of a challenge, point your toes up to the ground, that doesn't make sense, up to the sky. Five, four, three, two, one. Oh, we should probably use this band to do glute work today, shouldn't we? No. That band is really strong. All right, go ahead, let yourself get a nice big deep breath down here. We're gonna move into waking up our lower body a little bit. So bringing those feet about shoulder width apart, kind of bringing your heels in towards your backside. We're gonna focus on waking up the glute here. So not the hamstrings, the glute. You're gonna tuck your hips under and you're gonna rise up into a bridge. And then you're going to slowly go back down, really focusing on having good form. And I'm just going to time it. We're going to go for a minute. So go at your pace. Make adjustments as you need to make sure that you're feeling it in the glute muscle. We don't want to feel it in our lower back. You might feel it a little bit in the hamstrings, but then see if you can maybe move your heels a little bit closer to keep your hamstrings out of the party this time. Remember to breathe, keeping your core engaged. Let a few more seconds here. Go at your pace. We're going to roll over. Pick the side that you want to roll over to. I'm just rolling towards you. Just remember which side you picked so that you can do the other side. We're going to do some clamshells to wake up the sides of our glutes. So we're going to go for about 45 seconds right here. Really make sure you're focusing on using that muscle in your butt to lift up your leg. We don't want the TFL right here to start joining the party. It likes to join the party. It's a rotator. We really want to focus back here. So make that mind to muscle connection. Your core is helping keep everything stable. You're not rolling forward or rolling backwards as your leg is moving. over. I know, I thought about it. Giving like a little bit of break today, I guess. All right, we're gonna go for 45 seconds on this side. Same rules apply to this side. Make sure you're getting that side butt muscle activated, where the motion is coming from. Don't worry so much about like how high your knee comes. It's not a big deal. We all have different levels of flexibility anyways in our hips, so. Very nice. So, you know, we woke up the sides of the butt so that when we roll back over onto our back, we can go into a different variation of bridge and hopefully have really good control when we do this. So this time what we're going to do is you're going to take one leg, extend it out. Your goal here is to look down at your hip bones and make sure they stay nice and level the whole time as you rise up, squeezing your glutes. So go nice and slow, nice and controlled. The core is engaged. We'll go for 45 seconds here. I'm not super worried about how many that you do, just that you really focus on keeping a nice, stable movement. And maybe you won't lift your hips super high off the ground. That's okay. And we're gonna switch sides, extending that leg, planting that foot, taking note, are we keeping the hips nice and stable? Feeling the same activation that you felt on the other side. Very nice. Go ahead, gently cross one foot up over the other. Reach through. Give yourself a little stretch there. And switch sides. Stretch on the other side. Just leave myself there for a while stretching. We're gonna roll. Oh, we're not done yet. You're like looking at your watch. Like, are we done? No. Roll over onto our tummy and remembering all those cues from earlier of keeping your core engaged and all that fun stuff. Looking down at the mat, raising up our upper body, pinching our shoulder blades together like we're trying to like pinch something between our shoulder blades. Then slowly setting it back down, bringing it back up, very slowly, very controlled. Once you feel like you have the upper body moving nicely, go ahead, add on, picking up those lower legs off the ground just a little bit. They're just hovering above the ground. Remember to breathe. Feel kind of like all muscles on the back of your body activating right now. Kind of feel like do the opposite of what happens when we sit in the chair. Kind of try to unroll those shoulders by like squeezing those shoulder blades together really tight. From here, go ahead, take a moment to just sit back in child's pose. I'm going to do a wide child's pose today so that I can get a nice stretch. And I'll also feel it a little bit more on the inside of my legs. So you kind of pick which variation is going to work for you today. From child's pose, we're going to bring our toes to the ground. We're going to shift into downward dog, pressing those heels down into the ground, hip bone, seat, hands off, to the ceiling so that we make a nice V, a nice flat back. Our heels may not touch the ground, but they're going towards the ground, and that's good. We're going to bring ourselves forward into a plank or engaged. Oh, we're going to go a little challenge exercise right here on our knees or on our toes. You pick. It is your choice. You're going to do a push-up. You pick. I totally did mine on my knees. There's nothing wrong with that. Push it up. Bring those toes back out into plank. Back into downward dog. Let's do another one. Shift into plank, core engaged, knees or toes. Push up. Back into plank. Back to downward dog. Plank. Push up. Plank. Downward dog. Plank. Push up. Plank. Into downward dog. Uh-oh, we're losing them. Don't start sweating because we're moving too much. Oh, from downward dog, bring one knee through into pigeon. Feel a nice stretch on the sides of your glutes. From here, kind of take it to where you need to go. You can go all the way down. You can stay up on your hands. Whatever your level of flexibility is going to let you go today. Oh, stay here. So good. We're going to shift back into plank only for a second so that we can pull the other knee through. Again, finding your position to feel a nice stretch. Maybe that's a little lower to the ground. Maybe that's a little higher today. Maybe this side just isn't as flexible as the other, and that's totally fine. Breathing. Maybe on your next big inhale, we'll let you go a little bit lower, but be gentle. I'm just going to leave you here because I need to stretch this side. No. Continue to stretch as you need it. I'm just going to turn off the computer. Thanks for coming.